Hey guys, what is up? Testing out a new setup, so let me know how this looks and sounds. If you're catching this on the replay, go ahead and just skip ahead a few minutes. I'm just waiting here for everybody to get into the live stream. As you guys are showing up, let me know how this setup looks. This is with the new Sony and the Yeti mic down here, so should up my live stream game compared to just like the usual webcam. So let me know how this is looking. Hopefully no lags or chops, anything like that. Again, yeah, I'll just give it a minute for everyone to get in here. So if you're catching the replay, go ahead and skip ahead. If you're tuning in the live stream, then what's up, and we'll get into the questions in just a minute. Sweet. Looks like everyone says it's looking good. Upgrade, yeah. This is going to be the new vlog setup. It should look even better for vlogging than it does for live. But this already should be pretty sweet. Vadim, how's it going, Vadim? New setup is unreal. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. How's like the backdrop look? I didn't really know what to do. This is just like my TV and a book. The camera is so good, I can see every pore on your face. Maybe we'll have to go back to the old one then. That's hilarious. I like the way the background is blurred. Yeah, me too. Cool, cool. Juan, can't see anything. You might want to reconnect or something because it seems like it's working for everybody. Like the fresh cut? Thank you. I'm frozen? I think it looks good. It might just be you. Are you considering creating a course? We'll see. Check in in a few weeks. Something really cool is going on. Let's get into some questions, guys. I'm doing it from the phone, so should be a cool setup here. And yeah, this is probably the best quality I've ever seen. This is a live show. Yeah, dude, thank you. This camera was like ridiculously expensive. So I'm shooting this on an A7S II, the 16-35 2.8 Yeti desktop mic. Yeah. Age, I'm 25. Joshua, how did the tax write-off end up working out? Yeah, I think it's going to be fine. I mean, I'll just get the credit for the one I'm returning. The credit shouldn't post until this year, and then I bought this one. So, I mean, it kind of cancels out, I guess. Like, it should be fine. Yeah. 2018 is going to be a nice year, finally getting started with FBA. Yeah. I mean, I hope it's a big year for everybody. I hope it's a big year for me. I'm trying to do a lot of things this year for sure. What does Francis do? Is he your only VA? He is my only full-time VA. Yeah, I've worked like on and off with some others, but Francis is like my core. He does a lot. He's super good. He does all of my video editing for YouTube that you guys see. He does everything graphic, photo related in my Amazon e-commerce business. So he's editing pictures. Sometimes he's even taking pictures. I'll send products to the Philippines. He does my customer service through Amazon. So he's just an all-star, does pretty much everything. So he is killer. Can I start with $2,500? Yes, you can. I think that's just about the minimum to give a pretty good shot. Preferably, I like to say $3,000 to $6,000 or so. Even 1,000 is possible. It just makes it honestly a lot more difficult, I would say. I actually think there's less risk in investing more because it allows you to give it a real shot. And like the $1,000 entry point is the most competitive because that's where everybody is getting in with a low barrier to entry. So it's actually less risky to invest more in a way, in my opinion. Looking good, bro. 5K setup is worth it. Please make this. Oh, that's Francis. Thanks, Francis. Yeah, I hope that you think it looks good. Yeah, let's get to 100K subs. That'd be sick. Your skin is so radiant and flawless looking with the new camera. Thank you. How is Amazon for cash flow? Do you have to reinvest most of the profit you get? Yeah, definitely. Cash flow is probably the most difficult thing about running a physical product business because as you grow, it just ties up more cash. So either you're going to go into this business with the intention of making, you know, a nice income that you can pull and use, or you're really trying to scale and grow, in which case you're really not going to be wanting to pull money out. So if you're looking to really, really scale, cash flow gets harder, not easier, typically. I'm stuck in the product research phase. I need to take the plunge, but haven't been able to do it because I feel so unsure about it. What's your advice for me in this area? My advice would be to get as confident as possible, right? I mean, you need to do your research such that you feel like you're jumping into something that you think is going to go well, right? Then you'll be less timid. If you're timid, try to figure out why you're timid and address those fears. If it's that you think you're choosing the wrong product, maybe you are. So, you know, try to figure out what the core of that, what's holding you up. How much money do you think a noob needs to get started? I kind of just addressed that. Is 1K enough? I think 1K is doable, but I'd not recommend it. You're gonna have to be really scrappy to start with 1K, in my opinion. I would say 3 to 6K is really optimal. Resell watches. Talk about your collection. Yeah, I resold watches. I haven't done it recently. I have a couple that I need to sell that have just been sitting. But that's the good thing about watches is that they retain value. So I'm going to make some videos about watches at some point because it's actually really interesting. You know, like if you're buying some $300 watch that's a piece of crap, you're losing $300. But I buy watches that are worth equal or more than I paid. So I'm basically owning them for free or profiting off owning them. And I'm talking about Omegas, Rolexes, Jaeger-LeCoultres, and I'm owning these watches and wearing them and enjoying them for what is truly free. It's just like having my money in a bank, except it's actually worth more. So I'll wear a watch that I paid $2,500 for that I could sell for $3,500. So it's not costing me $2,500. Anyways, yeah, I used to resell watches a ton. That was one of my main hustles as I got started with Amazon private label. I was flipping, you know, multiple Omegas and Rolexes every week, vintage. As for my collection, I have a handful of Omegas. I mean, I'll make a video about that at some point, but I have like a 1971 Speedmaster. I have my only more modern watch is an Aquaterra. I have a Seamaster 120 from the 60s. I have several other Seamasters from the 50s and 60s as well. I have a Jaeger-LeCoultre Memovox from the 60s. That about covers it, I think. But yeah, it's probably like 8 or 10 watches. Sammer, damn, what's with the new video quality? Yeah, I'm finally streaming on the main setup. So this is the new Sony a7S II with the freaking expensive lens and the Yeti mic as well. So hopefully it looks really good. Alex, I'm 15 and am very interested in business. I've done a ton of Amazon research, but after a while, I determined I didn't have enough startup. Only had about 2K. This is the same question, so I've answered this a couple times now, but I think like, you know, 3 to 6 or 8K is really optimal. 1 or 2 is possible, but it's actually more difficult and more risky in my opinion. I think it's less risky to invest more because you're going to be giving it more of a real shot. And starting with such a low investment is more difficult because you're going to be competing with other people that are finding those easy to enter products, and you're not going to be able to give it a real push. So it's actually harder to start with less. What are your other entrepreneurial ventures outside of Amazon? So yeah, I mean, that's touching on something that is an area that I am expanding, is that for the past 3 solid years, the only thing I was doing was Amazon. So, you know, when I first got into Amazon, like I said, I was flipping cell phones, I was flipping watches, then that pivoted, that sort of overlapped with me getting serious about private label. But then I was just head down doing private label and nothing else for the past 3 years. So, I mean, you're seeing it. I'm doing YouTube. That's leading me to new streams of income. So I would say in the past, 4 or 5 months, it's become a focus of mine to branch out into new streams of income. So, I mean, it's really, there's nothing that you guys don't know about. So as long as you like realize what I have going on with like, consulting and YouTube ad revenue and, affiliate links in the description and, stuff like that. I don't really have any like other businesses that you guys don't know about. If I want to brand register my brand on Amazon, should I also register my brand by trademark or can I do that later? You have to have your the name legally trademarked to even get accepted to brand registry. Please explain your PPC strategy. How do you know it's working? Well, you know how well it's doing by looking at your ACOS, your average cost of sale. And what that means is how much it costs on ads for you to actually get a sale. I'm not going to say there's an exact number. This is because that would be a really long conversation, but the lower percentage, the better, right? So if you're seeing hundreds of percents, then that means you're spending, $300 to get a $20 sale. That's not good. But, if your ACOS is 20%, 30%, now we're probably talking it going seriously well. And basically my whole entire PPC thing is just spend more on the ones that are doing well and cut out the ones that are not doing well. Vincent, what's your daily schedule? That's something I need to get tremendously better at. I am not very good organizationally. I'm not, I'm obsessed with like the concept of like daily routines, the whole Tim Ferriss aspect of that. But I've always struggled to keep myself super organized and on a tight schedule. So that's an area I need to improve. A lot of the times I just kind of wake up, have coffee, go outside. Then I just kind of just do whatever work I can sort of get to. It's not the best. I'm not the most efficient as of right now, so I could definitely improve in that area. Mo, what categories in Amazon do you recommend for a first-time FBA seller to sell on right now? What's a good starting budget? What's a good starting budget? So I wouldn't worry too much about which category. I've seen opportunity in every category. I know people that have successful businesses in pretty much every category. So that wouldn't be my driver. My driver would be where I find a product that is an opportunity. And like I said, at least 3,000 to 6,000. 3,000 to 6,000 is the best range to start, I would say. Any suggestions to build up capital? Trying out crypto for now, but need to make a couple thousand if possible to start FBA. Crypto, I wouldn't probably do that for like a short-term income. Crypto is like a speculative investment. It's a speculation, not a cash flow. So to me, I would do what I did, which is find any sort of hustle that generates cash. Right now you're at a stage where you're not at scale, so you can't have the luxury of passive or the luxury of scale. What you have to do right now is get on the ground hustling and do whatever you can to grab cash, right? Ties back into what I was saying about watches. I was flipping watches. I would scour for watches that I knew I could resell for more, and then I would do that. So anything, I would say for me, a lot of people talk about affiliate and drop shipping as low cost entry things. For me, I would look at flipping. That's where I came from. Go find stuff that you can buy for less than you can resell it for. It's very simple. It's very easy to grasp the concept of, go try to explain affiliate marketing to your grandma or something. That's going to be tough. But now go try to explain buying a car and selling it. It's a lot more, it's just, I like that. Do you use a combination of reinvested revenue and credit to expand and restock? I don't know the ratio to that part of the question, but yes, I use both. I keep pretty much all the money in the business, and then I also do have loans. I have loans through Amazon Lending. I'll use credit cards as well. So, yeah. So far, how is Helium 10 going for you? Yeah, I like Helium 10. There's a lot of tools in it. I wouldn't say I'm super, super in love with it. I wouldn't put it on my mandatory tool list, but it is one of my favorites. I'm just not a huge tools junkie like a lot of people are. but it is one of the ones in my suite. Have you tried Viral Launch? No, I have not. Garrett, wow, the new quality is insane. Thank you. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Alonzo, are you using continuous autofocus right now? Yes, I am. It should focus on my face if I get closer. I have to wait for the delay, but we'll see. Yeah, it should be, it's continuous. Right now it's on face tracking, so it's not gonna like focus to the background if I move, but yeah. What's your 2018 goal for your Amazon business? I haven't put an exact number on it. I think it'll just depend on how other businesses and opportunities go for me and how much money I can dump on as fuel into my Amazon business to potentially scale it at an even faster rate. But I would be very happy even where I am right now. Like even if I just have another consistent year, I'd be more than happy. If it goes up by 20, 30%, I would be, that's really what I would say the goal would be. Will you be at Sam's meetup this Monday? Yeah, I'll go. I'll be there. I don't know if I'm like talking or anything like that. I have not heard. But yeah, I'm definitely going to try to go. That's the meetup at WeWork on Monday, the whatever the day Monday is, the 15th, I think. At WeWork, I believe it's at the Constellation in like Century City. Get in the Facebook group. There's definitely posts about any and all meetups. James, hey Matt, first product going live this week. For PPC, should I do an auto campaign for 10 days, then pull the data and do manual or something else? Yeah, it's a pretty good method. I would always do auto at first, no matter what else you do. Meaning, even if you're gonna do manual from day one, you should still do auto. That said, you could do auto and a manual campaign if there are very obvious keywords that you know you want to give a shot at, right? So you can do both, but for sure run auto at first, and I wouldn't stop it at 10 days either. The way you phrase it right there makes me think you're trying to turn it off, and I would not do that. Paul, lens totes worth it. Yeah, dude, this lens is worth more than my previous camera setup as a whole. So that's interesting. And this is just on live too. Like this camera can do 4K, this camera can do, I mean, it should look, I can't wait to do like serious B-roll stuff in the vlog. Like this isn't edited or anything, whereas Francis can put his magic all over it and he can make anything look good. So when I can do some serious like 120 frames per second B-roll on this thing, it should be insane. Talk a little about FBA for those who don't have much cash to start up. I don't think FBA is the move if you don't have a lot of cash to start up. I get the question all the time, like, how should I start FBA with $200? I don't think you should. And maybe you can in terms of retail arbitrage, stuff like that. But the stuff we're talking about here, creating your own brand, selling your own product, that's not a game you're going to play with $200. So I think you need to find some sort of hustle, like I was saying about reselling. And that hustle could involve FBA in terms of like, you know, arbitrage and all of that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that what I'm talking about here is the play if you've only got like a few $100. What categories? I addressed that. Any category can work. What are third-party tools for Amazon that we can use to boost revenue and ROI? With that specific goal in mind, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say any of my tools are directly related to that, actually. So I don't really have a good answer for you there. Can you break down the categories for what our capital could cost us, for example, product, research tools, other tools and software, estimated shipping fees, pretty much the entire launch? Yeah, that's why I like to just say, you know, like you want to have 3 to 6 or 8, that range of money, because like there's unexpected expenses, you know, like I guess I haven't like broken it down, but and you know, I don't think of things like advertising in terms of a launch cost, because the goal with advertising is that you're going to get sales in return for that ad spend. So you know, I don't think about that either. Tools, you know, tools are going to be a couple $100, I guess. I mean, it really is just, I mean, the real cost, you know, there's going to be $40 a month for your Amazon account. But if you're worrying about those type of expenses, like I would say you don't have enough money to start in general. So, you know, as long as you have, you know, a few grand for your product, the other stuff is going to be a much smaller proportion than that. So, yeah, you just need to have some wiggle room. And even if you have 8,000 and your first order is 4,000, that's the right place to be too, because if your first order of the $4,000 starts selling really well, first thing you're going to have to do is buy more inventory. So the best place to be is to drop like 5K, but have like another 5K on reserve. That's really the best place to be. What do you do in addition to Amazon FBA? In terms of business, I mean, like I said, I've been head down on Amazon FBA for a long time. And that's why you see me now branching out into other things like YouTube, like, you know, just all the stuff that you guys see me doing. I mean, it's basically all around Amazon as of right now, but a huge goal of mine is to have, you know, multiple streams of income. I think in the last 6 months, I've gone from one stream of income to like 5 or 6, and they're all kind of related, but you know, I'd love in the next year to get up to 10 streams of income. Is having a freight forwarder necessary? For me, it is, yes. But for you, day one might not be. Depends on the size of your order. If you're starting very small, just go with UPS, FedEx, something like that. If you're getting up to sea shipping, you're going to want your own freight forwarder. But if you're doing small stuff, I wouldn't bother at the beginning. Best marketplace for used watches. So I would find my watches to flip actually on eBay. So it's funny because in a lot of cases, I would buy stuff, say on Craigslist or anywhere else, and then flip it on eBay. But on eBay for watches, the arbitrage was the other way. So on eBay, I could find people that were selling vintage watches that they had no idea what the hell they were selling. So I could take those questionable watches and buy them on eBay and then list them on like niche watch forums and stuff like that where people knew what they were looking for. So I was sifting through a pile of shit on eBay and then picking the gems and listing them on like the watch enthusiast forums. So you always have to find like a sort of arbitrage when you're flipping. You ever resell video games? If so, can you give me some pointers? I never did video games specifically, but I mean flipping is kind of all the same. You just gotta find something that is a better deal than you know you can sell it for. And you can know how much stuff goes for by going on eBay and looking at the completed listings. You said when you launched your first product, you had an existing customer base. No, I didn't really. I think for my very, very first private label product, I did start an Instagram as it was sort of en route. And I did collect a few emails, but it wasn't a major, it wasn't really a big piece of the puzzle, to be honest. Because that, I'm talking 3 years ago. Sweet video quality, by the way. Thank you. Cost a lot. So help me get some YouTube ad revenue to pay for my camera setup. So make sure you smash the like button. It really helps because yeah, we need to pay for this setup with the YouTube ads. Did you have any failures when starting out? Yeah, one thing I haven't really mentioned too much, I guess, is that I kind of actually started private label. I did like a test run. Like I wouldn't, like when I say my first product, the one I always refer to as my first product was sort of technically my second product. And that's because I was already selling, I can tell you what this product is because never sell this product. I highly don't recommend it and I haven't sold it in years. But back when I used to sell on eBay, before I got interested in private label, I was selling tempered glass screen protectors for phones. And I was one of the first people selling those on eBay and it was really good. When I started hearing about Amazon, it was an easy test for me to just put some of those on Amazon, learn the FBA system, which that was sort of my test to just be ready just to figure out FBA for my first real product launch, which was a couple months later. And that product is what I really refer to as my first private label product. But yeah, I mean, that, like just those typical phone accessory stuff, that was kind of a failure. But I don't even consider that like my first private label product. I was selling those anyways. Excuse me. Talking too much. I was watching another guru. He said it's better to go through US manufacturers and dropship everything through Shopify. What are your thoughts? That's a totally different business model. Just totally different. Could be legit though. I mean, I don't do that, so I can't speak to it, but sounds interesting. I've heard of that model. It's just another model. And look, if you can make it work, that's cool. But you got to pick a model and run with it, you know? I bought a Yeti mic for my little brother on his birthday. Cool. Yeah, the Yeti mic seems really good. How's the audio sounding? Your 2018 goals for your Amazon business, I covered that. I launched a new product, one organic sale. I dropped the price and my BSR ranking went extremely up. Why is that happening? Could it also be that I changed title keywords? Could be that you changed your keywords. Keep in mind, BSR, all BSR is a measure of your recent sales. So it doesn't go the other way. It's not like my BSR went up because I did something wrong and now I'm not selling. Your BSR is just measuring how much you're selling. So your BSR going to a worse number just means you sold less. So figure out why, but it's not the other, like the causation of that is not the other way. I haven't seen a YouTube stream with better video quality than yours right now. I'm here since you started a few months ago. Crazy progress. Good job. Thanks a ton. Thank you. Wow, I saw that comment a bit ago, so I'm quite behind on the comments. You guys are blowing me up here. I'm still working my way down, but I'll try to get to y'all. Are you paying 6 or 7 digits in taxes this year? Definitely not 7. Definitely not 7. My income isn't even 7. My sales are 7, but my income is definitely not 7. So my taxes are definitely not 7. Probably 6. Any advice for appealing an account suspension? Should I hire a professional? Yeah, I would hire a professional. That's my best answer. Is it necessary to take courses to start successful businesses, or can you just start from your video information? I mean, of course it's possible to start a successful business without taking a course. I mean, this whole concept of a course has only been around for a handful of years, you know? I didn't take a course. That's just my truth. That said, you know, now I'm probably going to start taking some, to be honest. Like, I have money coming in. There's things I want to learn. The thing about what a course does is it shortens the learning curve. Like, look, if you're dead broke and you're like 17 years old or whatever, you probably shouldn't buy a course, because what you have is the luxury of time. Like, you can go spend a year digging through videos on YouTube and trying to figure out what's what. But what a course does is it gives you one person that you trust, and you learn the business through their lens, and you just consume that. It's just way more efficient and way more focused, and it just saves you a ton of time, and it gets you on track. Like, instead of just being like, do I listen to this guy? Do I listen to that guy? Do I do this or that or this? Or that person said this, but this person said that. It just, so yeah, taking a course is not necessary. It's just a time saver, and I think there's a lot of value in it. What do you pay for freight forwarder warehousing your pallets? I have everything go to Amazon, so I don't really keep it there. Is this month slow sales? Not really. Pretty typical. Obviously, it's less than December. So if December is your only gauge, then yeah, it's tiny. But January is a pretty solid month. You know, you've got a lot of gift cards coming in from Amazon, I think. So it's definitely not the worst. What do you think about PPC? Totally necessary day one. What's up, Matt? I have had nothing but a bad experience with the suppliers so far. They do the whole back and forth with me, then they tell me they cannot meet the requirements. What do I do? I mean, you got to keep just running through it. I mean, if they can't do it, they can't do it, I guess. So keep trying to find a new supplier. Sometimes you got to shift your expertise. It's not possible. It's not possible. So just do what you can and make it work. About to place my first order. Each unit weighs about 1.3 pounds. Would it be smart to air ship all 1,000 units, or should I split into air and sea? I would split air and sea. Yeah, definitely. How to launch your private label product. Have a great product, pick the right product, run PPC, run advertising, build a great listing, put something into the market that you would buy yourself, and yeah. First live one I've been to see live besides the uploads, and the quality is great. Thank you. There's going to be lots more. That's why I did this. When it comes to pictures, when you're buying online and send it directly to Amazon, which I believe is called private label, then how do you go about pictures of the products you're selling? Well, you're going to need to have a sample sent to you or to a photographer, right? I mean, yeah. How's Jessica doing with her social media marketing? Making some progress. Definitely has some solid leads right now. Yeah, she's getting there. I tend to get more profit but less sales with no PPC. More profit but less sales with no PPC. Yeah, I agree. But PPC is going to help you get, it's just going to help you run that algorithm of Amazon, right? It's going to lower your margin. It lowers my margin a lot. If I turned off PPC, my profit margin tomorrow would be much higher tomorrow than today. But I'm worried what happens a few months down the line. Because having more volume is what feeds Amazon. What's up, Matt? Oh wait, no, I already read that one. Do you do any side income that is doable for someone with a lower budget, like 500, to make some more income? Yeah, I mean, as you can see, like from my YouTube channel, I've started I do a little bit of affiliate stuff. I mean, nothing BS, don't be a BS affiliate marketer for sure. Do it the right way. Like I talk about, I'll talk about various Amazon software because I use it. So I might as well get a cut if I'm talking about something that I use anyways, and then you guys buy it, I get a cut. That's just winning for everyone, right? So check out, if you want to see what I'm doing, I'm not just plugging it, but check the links in the description. There's a whole bunch of stuff down there that I use. So therefore that's easy. Now, if you're starting as an affiliate from scratch, I mean, you could find other niches, right? Check out ODI Productions. He's a cool dude. Talks a lot about affiliate marketing. And one of his most successful things was he was making YouTube videos about audio equipment, I believe. And so he'd make a video about headphones, and then he'd have Amazon affiliate links to the headphones, and does super well with stuff like that. So, I mean, that's something you could consider with a lower budget. Have you been using FOB shipping terms since you started selling private label? I have heard that using DDP terms can be more beneficial for a first-time seller, even though it's more expensive. When I started, I was literally shipping UPS and FedEx Air to my apartment. So I wasn't doing either of those really, I guess. It wasn't duties delivery paid because I would have to pay the duties. I would just receive it. I mean, so that's my personal truth of what I was doing a few years ago. Is that what I would recommend? Not really. I would say DDP is a good start, but then yeah, use FOB if you're doing anything remotely at scale. When do you know you need to discontinue a product? I mean, if it's just dead, if I have products that are just trickling along and they don't suck, they don't make a ton of money, but they're all right, I don't discontinue them. They're just not my focus. So yeah. Big Matt Dog doing the live Q&A. That a boy. What's up? Is it realistic to launch 10 different products by the end of your first year? That might be a little bit of a stretch, to be honest, just because of the cash flow constraints that you'll have if you have a successful product. 10 is doable. It depends on how much money you have on the back burner that you could dump in if things are working. Once I get my product sample, what's the best way to get it professionally photographed or photoshopped? A professional. I think you answered your own question. It would be to find a professional that can do it for you. If cash flow is not an issue, what are the things that I need to worry or focus on? I mean, the most important is always product selection. So picking a great product that you can expand and grow a brand and a product line around. That's really going to be the best thing to focus on. You answered my question earlier about building up capital. You said find stuff to flip, and I actually do already resell, mainly shoes. Awesome. Yeah, good job. Joshua, what is your educational background? I went to UCLA, and I majored in psychobiology. So you guys can see that I'm really using that. But I mean, I don't regret it. I love psychology, neuroscience, health science. So I mean, it definitely still impacts me, but it's not like it led to any particular income for me. I'm gonna try to run through. I'm gonna probably skip a few because I'm 15 minutes behind. I'm 20 minutes behind on the questions. Holy crap! You guys must have seriously asked a lot of questions. Drop shipping versus China, Amazon. I mean, private label is the best because you own the products. Drop shipping, the only advantage is that you might be able to start with a lower budget. Storage fees after 6 months. It's actually a bit longer than 6 months. It's anything that's been 6 months after a certain date. It's a little confusing, but yeah, there's storage fees every month. They're just, you're thinking of the long-term storage fees. Those are a lot more expensive. Those are twice a year. What is better to use, your own forwarder and bond, or go with manufacturer shipper? I use my own forwarder. Send me a message if you want any recommendations of forwarders. Or go to the Facebook group. Go to the Facebook group. I get a lot of questions. Ian, you inspired me to create a YouTube channel based around FBA. That's awesome. Wow, that's really cool. Awesome. I'm definitely going to check that out. If you never see the products you sell, how do you go about pictures? Do you just copy and paste? Don't copy and paste. Get a physical product of yours sent to a photographer or to a render person or whatever you're doing. Skipped my comment? No, I'm just really behind. What are your top 10 must-use tools? Check out the description of this video for the tools that I use on Amazon. What website do you use to hire a VA? Check out the tools in the description, that's there too. If I do Amazon FBM so that I ship my own orders, don't do that. And that's my advice. Use FBA. It's tapping you into so many advantages. That I'm going to keep that short. I'm going to skip a few. So I'm going to skip down actually. So sorry if I missed your question. I'm going to just go to the ones that are more current right now. So if I skipped you, ask it again. I'm going to Abdullah. Any ideas on liquidating inventory that is not selling since Amazon stopped liquidating? I mean, I'm sure there are liquidation companies out there. I don't have any personal experience with that, so I can't give you a great answer, but it's out there. So you could order it back to yourself, try to sell it on Craigslist, try to sell it on eBay, try to use a liquidation website of some kind. About building a brand, what if you were having a difficult time finding products with good numbers to further grow your brand in that niche? Would you start doing a different product? Yeah, I've never said you only need to have one brand. Just the more that you think about a product idea in terms of what can expand from this, the better off you're going to be. So I have multiple brands. You can have multiple brands. But I wouldn't just go from one product to one product to one product to one product. The more you can do it, the better. That doesn't mean you have to literally stick to one forever. Do you recommend Viral Launch to launch your products? If no, why not? Go watch the video I did called, it's called like The Gurus Won't Tell You This or something like that. The Gurus Will Get You Banned, something like that. Go watch that video. How many products do you have? More than 30. Where's the Facebook group link? The link to the Facebook group is in the description. Everything that I've ever talked about is in there. Check out the description. Immediate steps you take once your inventory hits Amazon. Amazon PPC, SEO, etc. So I would say stuff like SEO, listing optimization, that's stuff you can do before it hits Amazon. So day one is really like, day one is scrambling to do all the stuff you probably should have done already, which is like listing optimization. That plus, start running your ads and your marketing, really. Feel free to ask me any questions about whatever. It does not have to be Amazon. Sometimes I get tired about talking about Amazon. How important is it to have product in the correct category? If a product is naturally in a gated category, can I put it in a similar category that is ungated and still do well? You might need to be a little careful with that. If Amazon switches it over, then you can lose control of your listing. It's, in my opinion, it's best to, I always favor relevance over a trick in all sort of areas of business. Like, I just, rather than putting some weird keyword in your title to try to trick the algorithm, why not just try to make a title that makes sense to your customer? Like stuff like that, that's the way I like to think about it. Do you recommend drop shipping on Amazon? I can't really speak to that. I have not drop shipped with Amazon. Thank you for your time. Have a great 2018. You'll be a millionaire for sure, bud. Yeah, hoping to hit that goal in 2018. Does it matter if you're listing known brands when doing retail arbitrage? I'm no expert at retail arbitrage, but you do need to be careful of gated brands. Like, for example, Nike, you need approval, stuff like that. Would you say it's okay doing your first product without a sample if it has good Alibaba reviews and already has good stock photos? You can't trust anything you see on Alibaba, dude. So yeah, nah. What recommendations do you have for differentiating your products from other products in your market? It can be either, it can be a material, a branding and packaging, a color, an accessory, simply having better photos, different price. I mean, you can stand out on a million ways. What are the best months in terms of sales? Yeah, November and December. Other than that, it just depends on your product. Like for me, I have some products that do really well in the summer. But, otherwise, I don't really have a flat read on it because my products do their own things. So some people say summer is really bad. So, yeah, I mean, what I typically hear is that summer is bad and then November, December is good. But for me, the summer is not bad. November, December is really good. And for me, late August, September, October, early November are actually the worst. Matt, have you heard about My Private Connect? This is something related to ranking, reviews, PPC. No, I have not heard of that. Any tips on getting organic sales and organic reviews on private label item? You need to get a lot of sales to get organic reviews. And to get organic reviews, organic sales, you're gonna just have to feed the Amazon algorithm, get yourself ranked, get yourself up there, right? What cars do you own? I have a Porsche Cayman S, manual transmission, 2008, and my girlfriend's car, which we share a bit, is a Lexus CT200HF Sport. I'm going to wrap this up in a couple of minutes. Gone a bit long, but I'm having fun. Do you try and make sure that each of your brands are in different industries? No, not really. Some of them actually do some of mine are relatively close to the same, actually. Can I have multiple brands under one seller account? Yes, you just do it, honestly. I'm not sure what the holdup, what could be confusing, but you just have a broad seller account name and then you just create listings under different brand names. What are some of your favorite hobbies? Now that you have some financial freedom, what's the coolest thing you've done? Coolest thing you've done? That's a hard question. I have no idea what I would answer for that. As far as, what was the other part of the question? Where'd it go? Ooh, where'd it go? Hobbies? Yeah, I mean, I love cars. That was an interesting segue with the last question. I go to a lot of like car meetups and stuff because I'm really into it. I mean, to be honest, I think a lot of my hobbies have slipped as I've been so focused on business. I love music. I used to make a lot of music. Now in my free time, I'll watch YouTube a lot. I live by the beach. I love to just hang out outside, just go for a walk, listen to podcasts. One of my major obsessions is like health and biohacking and longevity. Like what's the point of making a bunch of money if you're just gonna go like drink and be unhealthy and just have these toxic, like that is so not what I'm about. Like I want to live to be like freaking 150 and be like a billionaire and like, I don't know, just like, it's just gonna be, the world's gonna be insane and I'm trying to like prepare for that basically. That probably sounded a little crazy. Thanks for being a dope virtual mentor. You had me start my channel documenting the journey on FBA as well. That's so cool to hear that I am inspiring people not just in Amazon, but in like starting their own channels and things like that. It's really cool. Do you need an inspection company? Sorry if I missed that. Got a lot of questions here, dude. Nick, do you need an inspection company? Yes, if you want to play it safe. If you're worried about risking having an issue, yeah. So I would highly, highly recommend an inspection company, especially if it's your first order with that manufacturer, so that you can make sure everything's in line and what you expect. Because that's the biggest risk, is that the biggest risk is that you get product that is not what you ordered, and then it's literally unsellable, and then you actually lose all your money. See, that's why Amazon is awesome, is because typically your biggest risk is not losing all your money. Your biggest risk is just that you'll, like, at worst case scenario, you'll sell it off at break even, or you'll do something to get rid of it. The only way you're going to lose all your money is if you have an issue with your product and you order 1,000 pieces of crap that are worthless. Then you're screwed. How long did it take you to get comfortable with doing daily vlogs? I don't know if I'm comfortable. It definitely didn't come naturally to me. If you notice, I still do a lot of it just like here at home. I don't, I don't have that lifestyle of like going places with the camera like 24/7 really. But yeah. I mean, you get a lot more comfortable with it. Like at first I felt weird even just looking at the lens, and now like I just stare at the lens like I'm talking to a person basically. What the heck, Nick? Pretty sure you could have worded that a better way. Yeah, I agree, but oh well. What's the difference in arrival time between air and sea from Alibaba? If you use Express, it's going to take, just a few days, honestly. If you use sea, it's going to take like 35. Anush, what's up, man? What camera is this? Looks awesome. This is my brand new Sony A7S Mark II with the 16 to 35 millimeter f2.8 and my new Yeti mic as well. Sorry, one sec. How do you reach out to customers? Use something like Feedback Genius to follow up with your customers. Is it worth using Listing Dojo for split tests? Don't have any experience with that, sorry. Why did you choose to buy Porsche? I think they're the true enthusiast cars, to be honest. Oh, the TV went off. That was what? I saw some light change. Yeah, whatever. Porsche are like the enthusiast cars. Like if you like cars, but then there are some people that say they love cars, but then they hate Porsche or whatever. No, it's all right. I mean whatever. I think it looks fine. Sorry. Trying to fix the lights, but I think it. There. I don't want to screw up the lighting. I didn't test it like that. I didn't plan on it getting dark during this. Sorry if the lights got screwed up. Francis is gonna kill me. Look at this reflection. Sorry, Francis. Yeah, why did you choose to buy Porsche? Porsche are the cool. I mean, they're the true driver's cars. They really are. Like, if you love cars and you hate Porsche, you don't love cars. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, honestly, my Porsche is less expensive than you would think. It's really not that expensive. I'll probably do a video at some point about like how much it actually costs, stuff like that. But it's not very expensive, and the amount of looks it gets, how fun it is to drive for that amount of money is literally untouchable. What's your dream car? If we're talking, I'm gonna let this one just get a little long. I'm enjoying it. We're on to anybody watching the replay right now. You're the true fans because we're getting into some random stuff right now. Yeah, what's your dream car? I would say like money is no object dream car would be like a Koenigsegg, like an Agera R or Agera RS. They're like the same. I don't even know the difference, but Koenigsegg for sure. That's what would be my favorite of like the hypercars. In like the under $1 million price point, I would love a 720S, which for me that might be like 3 cars away right now. Below that, I would get a McLaren 570S. That could be potentially the next car or the next car. If I don't go straight to that, I would get something like a Cayman GT4 in the middle. Got some motivational words for someone hesitating on their first order like me. Yeah, make sure that you're choosing something that you're confident in, and then you should be able to just take the plunge. Newer R8 or Huracan? I don't really like the newer R8s that much. I would go Huracan. But but even a base Huracan, just regular Huracan, honestly, I'm a little bit... living in LA, like, you get a little bit wacky of your perception of cars, you know? Like, I barely even turn my head at a Huracan. That's just the truth. Like, a Huracan is like a freaking Honda Accord here, dude. It's just it's just like really like another base Huracan. Like, I mean, whatever, you know? Like, it's just not that interesting to me. Not that it has to be more expensive, but I just prefer to choose something a little more interesting, you know? GT3 RS, I get way more excited. Or, you know, 570S McLaren. Do you plan to buy a classic Porsche 911? Not really. I'm not. I'm definitely on a more modern kick right now. Not too into classics as much. What car do you have? Right now, I'm driving a Porsche Cayman S. Amazon fees, shipping, inspection companies, and 10% GST tax reduces profit massively. Yeah, dude. I mean, there's expenses in a business. If it's not so profitable, then it's just not going to work. So. Every business has taxes. That's one thing I never understand is people are like, oh, like, I don't want to make all this money because then I'm going to have to pay taxes. Then don't make money. LOL, go to church and you live forever. That's not the type of live forever I'm talking about. Wait, AliExpress is better. You can actually get it quicker than 14 to 15. Oh, no, I didn't say AliExpress. I said express, meaning express shipping, like DHL, UPS, FedEx, air shipping. Have you thought about writing a book about the tips and advice on starting our own FBA or beginning entrepreneur? Dude, you'll be good. Been following you since episode 1. Thank you, first of all. You know, I haven't ever said this, but first off, not soon for sure, but I could see maybe in like 5-10 years writing a book. That would be cool. It's definitely not in the immediate plans. Definitely not about FBA, but I would love to, like, I don't know, like what's going to be the next generation 4-hour work week, right? Like the Tim Ferriss, the 4-hour work week. What's going to be like the next generation's 4-hour work week? Maybe I'll give it a shot. Not soon. I cannot imagine writing a book. I literally, like, if I ever do that, it's going to be the craziest accomplishment of my life. What about Huracan? Yeah, I answered that. P1, McLaren P1. Yeah, I just saw one the other day. I love the P1 for sure. That's so true about Huracan in LA. Yeah, dude. Huracan is just... How do you handle customer support at scale? Honestly, even at my scale, it's not that much. It's a handful of messages per day. Are you stressed out, Matt? Yeah, for sure. I mean, I try to do a lot. I think I hold myself to a very, very high standard. You know, I'm hard on myself. Like, I don't celebrate the wins. I'm always trying to do 50 things, and that means 45 of them don't happen, and then I feel like shit about that. But overall, I move forward a lot, so it's like I'm doing really good, but I always feel like I'm not. And that's just my own that's my own mental scenario. Did you hear the new Eminem remix to his song Chloroseptic, and what are your thoughts? No, I did not. Which niche would you look into for a private label for April? I would look into something that is not specifically for April. I would look into something just that is typically good selling. Cool, I'm achieving the bottom, so it looks like I held you guys here long enough. So I'm gonna hit these last few, and then we'll wrap up before a full hour. That would be good. What music do you listen to? A lot of electronic, sort of like experimental hip hop beats, stuff like that. Some of my favorite artists are Flying Lotus, Boards of Canada, probably a lot of, I mean, stuff like that. I mean, that's probably a lot of people here probably don't know who those are, but if one of you guys knows who Flying Lotus is, Boards of Canada, like that whole realm. But yeah, I haven't even been listening to a lot of music. I've been just so busy, so that's an area that has really, really slipped for me. You mentioned before in the beginning you scaled up very quickly and made some mistakes, like not getting inspections and stuff. Can you elaborate more on scaling and mistakes? I mean, I wouldn't say I scaled up very quickly. I scaled up as quick as I could based on my own sort of financial situation. Um, and yeah, that wasn't great. But yeah, I mean, I didn't make any huge mistakes, to be honest. You know, I've always been sort of carefully calculating and scaling as quickly as I can manage, I would say. So yeah, no other mistakes really come to mind. What are your thoughts on the whole Logan Paul situation? Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if I should. First of all, I'm not qualified to talk about this. I don't know the whole story. I'm probably going to say something stupid, so give me a break. But I think what he did is super stupid. But without even talking about what he did being stupid, what actually bothers me more than that is everyone's just outrage and freaking out. It's just like, who cares even if he's dumb and ridiculous? Like, let him do his thing. That's his character and that's his persona. If he pisses you off, he's trying to piss you off 99% of the time. He's trying to be annoying. He's trying to be funny. Like, I think people's reaction to it is actually bothering me more than what he did. I'm sure I didn't watch the video. I'm sure what he did is super disrespectful, unbelievably stupid. But like, everyone's reaction to it is just like, oh God, it's just like, please just let him do his own stupid thing. You know, like, that's fine. Like, just that's just his thing. So. Where's the video about your watch collection? Haven't done it yet, but I hope to do that at some point. So if you private label your listing, no one can hijack your listing. They can, but you're protected and you'll be able to fix that. How to have lower selling rank. My selling rank is going up even when I sell them. Your BSR will definitely, all BSR is your recent sales. So if you sell more, your BSR will go up. Thoughts on listing Dojo for split test? Yeah, sorry, I answered that. I don't know. I don't have any experience with that, so I'm not sure. Do you drive on racetracks or speedways? I've done the Porsche Experience Center in Carson where I drove a GT4 on the track. That was really cool. But other than that, I don't have a whole lot of experience. How do you handle product cycles? Any strategies? Yeah, have a ton more products. Launch more products. Cover more area. You know, keep launching and launching and launching because some products will die over time. It's just part of the game. How do you pay VAs to write your product description? I write my own product description. How long does it take a product last once you get ranked? Does a product last once you get ranked? I mean, I have some products that I've been selling for several years. It just depends. Typical profit margin. I would look for 30 to 50% before ad spend. What is a BSR? Best seller rank. It's a way you can figure out how much something is selling on Amazon. Thanks for your insight. Write a book. Yeah, maybe eventually. That's not in the immediate plans. All right, guys, I seriously let this go long. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure you hit subscribe down below. There's so much already on the channel, so much coming. If you're watching this live, you've probably already done that. If you have not, make sure you hit the bell too, because the bell will let you know when I do another one of these so you can hop in live and get your questions answered. Lots more of these coming, lots more vlogs, just crazy busy trying to get so much done. So thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.